Small businesses in California may benefit if they start an S Corp. Although S corporations are a great business entity with some distinct advantages, there are things worth considering first. To be recognized as an S Corp, a business must start as a corporation and then follow the proper procedures with the state and the IRS. California has their own unique requirements you'll need to know before to get started. An S Corp is a corporation that is taxed as a pass-through entity. A corporation can elect to become an S Corp to operate as a pass-through entity, and this means that credits, deductions, income, and losses flow from the S Corp to its shareholders. For your corporation to become an S corporation, it must be a domestic corporation, have no more than 100 shareholders, have only allowable shareholders, have only one class of stock, not be an ineligible corporation like certain financial institutions, insurance companies, and domestic international sales corporations. Allowable shareholders may be certain trusts and estates, but it may not be corporations, non-resident shareholders, or partnerships. There are 12 steps to start an S Corp in California. The first step to starting an S Corp in California is to check name availability. Your business name will be checked against the same business entities registered with the Secretary of State when checking your name availability. You can see if your business name is available through the Business Search database. You have the option to reserve your business name for 60 days for a fee of $10. After searching to see if your business name is available, you'll choose a business name. You'll need to choose a business name which is distinguishable in the records from other corporations of record, or reserved with the California Secretary of State, and the name is not likely to mislead the public. Third, if you don't have an employer identification number, you'll do so in this step. There are 3 options available to receive an EIN. You can receive it by fax, mail, or online, and each option is free. You'll receive an EIN the fastest if you apply online. If you apply by fax, it'll take up to 4 days to receive your EIN if you provide a phone number. If you apply by mail, it will take up to 4 weeks to receive your EIN. The fourth step to start an S Corp is to file Articles of Incorporation. You'll complete the Articles of Incorporation General Stock form and send it to the Secretary of State. Within the Articles of Incorporation, you'll provide your S Corp's name of proposed corporation, address, city, state, and zip code, agent for service of process, number of shares corporation can issue, purpose statement, and signatures of each incorporator. There's a fee of $100 to file Articles of Incorporation, and you have the option of completing the form online. The fifth step to start an S Corp in California is to work with a registered agent. Registered agents are also known as an agent for service of process in California. The agent for service of process will accept court papers if your S Corp is sued. There are 3 things to consider for agents of service of process in California. An agent for service of process can be a corporation or an individual. If the agent for service of process is a corporation, it must have previously completed Form 1505 Registered Corporate Agent for Service of Process certificate. If the agent for service of process is an individual, the individual must live in California. A business entity won't be able to act as its own agent for service of process in the state of California. The sixth step to start an S Corp in California is to form corporate bylaws. Your corporate bylaws will establish how your corporation will operate. Your S Corp's corporate bylaws should contain basic information about your S Corp, such as address, designation of corporation, that's public or private, fiscal year of corporation, name, and principal place of business. It should also contain information about important functions of your S Corp. This may include information about your board of directors, the director functions, meeting procedures, and shareholder meetings. Next, you'll appoint your S Corp's directors. Shareholders elect directors who will serve on a board of directors, deciding on behalf of the S Corp. Some duties and responsibilities the directors will have are to announce corporation-related developments at the annual meeting, creating the mission of the S Corp, often as a mission statement, ensuring the S Corp meets its financial and legal obligations, and to review the actions of corporate executives and set policies. You'll also need to keep track of the meeting requirements. There are a few meeting requirements to know before starting an S Corp in California. First, the boards of directors will need to keep meeting minutes. There are no specific rules regarding how to track these minutes, but it may be helpful for your meetings to follow an outline, which can include an agenda for approval. The board can approve additions. Minutes of the last meeting for approval. Reports from committees and executives. Old business carried over from a previous meeting. New business. Comments and announcements. Adjournment with a time, and setting the date of the next meeting. The ninth step to start an S Corp in California is to issue stock that was authorized in your articles of incorporation. An S Corp can issue only one class of stock to its shareholders. You will first issue stock at your initial shareholder meeting, typically to the founders of the company. Additional stock can then be authorized and issued by your board of directors. One of the last steps you'll do to start an S Corp in California is to complete the Statement of Information. An S Corp's Statement of Information requirements differs from other business entities in the state, and you must file a complete statement within the first 90 days of filing the Articles of Incorporation. A Statement of Information is due every year after incorporation, and you can file subsequent statements online with a $25 fee. The penultimate step to start your S Corp is to file Form 2553. This is the form to convert your corporation to an S Corp at a federal level. You'll need information about your S Corp to complete this step, like the address, name, and signature of each shareholder, the business address and name, the company EIN, a company officer's signature and title, the company's state of incorporation, and the date of incorporation. After completing Form 2553, you can fax or mail it to the IRS. The last step to starting your S Corp in California is to file Form 100S. This is the form that allows you to operate your S Corp within California. In this step, you'll need to provide several pages of information about your S Corp, so make sure to have everything you need in advance. There's one additional state requirement to be aware of. All S Corps in California will pay a franchise tax. The minimum franchise tax of $800 is due in the first quarter of each accounting period. You'll pay this tax whether your corporation is active, inactive, operates at a loss, or files a return for a short period, under 12 months. California waives the minimum tax on newly formed or qualified S Corps filing an initial return for their first taxable year if they're registered with the Secretary of State. Every S Corp will pay an additional 1.5% tax from their California source income, even if it's the S Corp's first year in operation. Starting a corporation in California may be right for you. If you want to start an S Corp in California, it can be a great decision. And when it's time to start your S Corp, it should never be confusing or stressful. Work with the experienced professionals at 1-800-ACCOUNTANT to get started.